How's it going? I put a video out the other day where I compared a watch cuff a friend of mine bought to what I'm making. It was that was part of another video. It was all over the place, like a Saturday morning in LA thing. But I still have that video clip I'm going to put in here. But I want to tell you, I had a couple issues with some of the stuff I bought and sold. So the first one was my buddy Sabo has a version of this one. As far as the band goes, very similar. And I was telling him, and I said this in my videos before with these leather bands, you want to snug them up a little bit. You want to wear them a little snug, like the snuggest but still comfortable hole you can get it in. Doesn't really sound right, does it? Actually, it sounds exactly right. Snuggest, most comfortable hole you can get it in. That's the one you want. I'm just going to leave this in here and keep rolling with it. So, because what happens is with the leather, it'll stretch a little bit. Then once you do that, you want to stick your finger in here like this and work it a little bit. And then eventually it's going to be it's going to be perfect, right? Problem is, guys that aren't used to this, they're doing this. They're pulling on this, and they're really pulling on this strap. And that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to pinch the strap. And you want to force your index finger and your thumb up like that and pinch it. Okay? And then tuck this in. Get that in there. You do not want to grab it and pull on it like that. You don't want to be pulling on this super hard because you could break something, man. Now, Sabo broke the spring bar that holds the buckle on. So he had to have been pulling on that pretty hard. Now, I bring this up because another guy, he bought the brown version with the Addy's Dive watch on it, and he sent me a picture, and this section here, this piece of leather that wraps under here, had pulled out. Now, that's a two-part issue. One is, hey man, you're pulling on it way too hard. The other thing is that could have been, in large part, my fault when I sewed it, because you have to take this piece of leather here, and you have to do what they call skive it down and make it real thin, and then, because you can't have super thick leather out here, so you have to roll that back, glue it down, glue the lining in, and then stitch it. And I think what happened was possibly the fold over wasn't as long as it needed to be, and so the stitching didn't hit it enough, and when he pulled on this so tight, he pulled it out. So I made him a new part. Now this is something that I'm aware of now. You guys are my research and development team here, unpaid. So I made him a new section of strap. I had some more of that leather, and I mimicked it perfect, so it'll be fine. I sent that in mail to him the other day, so I'll fill you in on that later. So just so you understand, I mean, these are super tough. They're well made, but I mean, if you aren't careful, you can break it. You can break anything if you try. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to do it. Remember, take your watch, you place it on, you get your band through the buckle here, right? And then you walk it up. You just walk it up with your index finger and thumb. You just walk it up. Get it nice and snug. Tuck that little, I don't know what the heck that part's called there, but the part that goes through the hole, not your penis. You tuck that up under there, and then you're golden. Also, I've been using these real thick keepers here that are adjustable. I've done it both where I've sewn this part here to the band itself, but now I'm free floating them, so you can adjust it. You put where you want it depending on the size of your wrist. It just works out better that way. Put my Seiko on here, my Seiko 55 fathoms with the blue dial. I love that watch. This is the watch that got me in all the trouble. This is the watch that got me into vintage dive watches and the history of them. And that's just why I started buying all these watches. This is a push-pull crown. Real quick, on setting your watch, I did one. If the video's still on my phone, I'll attach it here. But basically, all you do with this one here is you literally just pull out on it, and then you could, set the time and the day and the date feature. If you try to do that and it doesn't happen, then it's likely a locking crown. So you have to turn it counterclockwise to unlock the crown, and then do all your adjustments, push it in, and then turn it and lock it down again to make it water resistant. If you have a locking crown watch, you likely have something like 200 meters water resistant at the minimum. This apparently is rated for 100 meters, although I wouldn't test that. You know, it's probably fine for the rain, and if you could probably swim in it, but I wouldn't swim in this watch just because I wouldn't want to take that chance. So that's it. I'm going to put the rest of the video in here where I compare this cuff watch from this guy in New York to what I'm making. I'm not trying to berate that guy at all. He's a pro. His website looks fantastic, but he's getting in the $300 range, close to three and over 4 on these watch cuffs that he's making. They don't come with a watch. None of the ones I saw on his site and the one I have is not lined. There's not a lot of adjustment there. I don't see it as a, you know, I don't want to knock it. I don't want to say anything negative. You know, your mother told you, you have anything nice to say, shut the fuck up. That's what my mom used to say. She also used to say really sweet things like, I need this crap from you like I need another hole in my head. There was more swear words in there. There was at least 3 or 4 more swear words in there. My mom was like a drunken, violent sailor, you know. Crazy. Anyhow, watch this. Keep watching. Look at what's going on there. You'll know what's going on. And maybe I'll put a little tag here on the end of it. So keep watching. Hole to get put in. Here's the band that Sabo sent me. I'm going to get the calipers out. I want to point a few things out about it and then show you what this guy's website looks like, which is fantastic. I mean, it's beautiful looking stuff. As I was scrolling, I'm going to find the exact one that Sabo has here. You can see this one here. It's $230. But this is the one that's interesting to me because I'm going to do one that next week with red stitching. This is $360. Okay? Let's just take a look at the pictures for this. And I want you to notice in this picture, you can see that, oh Christ, this happens all the time. So, all right, let's go back. So you can see that it's not lined, right? And it's just thin cowhide. You'll see that in a moment when I show you the one I have in my possession. And I'm not going to knock this. His bands do not obviously come with a watch. Now this is a cuff straight up. This is very similar to the cuffs I've done for myself and my brother. Again, not lined. The keepers for the watch are sewn directly to the cuff as well as the strap. Interesting choice to have a gap there. I wasn't doing that. You know, good, nice, neat stitching. But again, not lined. Doesn't come with a watch. $360. You know, that's... I'm a little flabbergasted by that, but good for him. But that makes me feel good about my stuff. Let me pause this for a moment, see if I can find the exact one I have in my possession. Okay, so I can't see the exact same one on his site here. That, well, actually, this is very similar, other than you can, let's just click on it. This is pretty close, other than the one that I have right here has the whip stitching around the perimeter. These keepers where the spring bars go through, this is just, everything's riveted. So you can't adjust that. And the width of this leather here is pretty thin. That's looks more like a 18 or 19 millimeters wide. So that's a tiny watch. So we'll get into this deeper in a moment. Yeah, this is the most similar one, it looks like to me, to the one I have, other than mine being black and having the... This probably should be a separate video, and maybe it will be, but I don't know. Let's just see how this goes. Let's go back to the first page, in case I missed it. You can see these prices, $315, $229, 220, 279. Oh, here we go, 229 again. So that's as close as to the black one. Oh, this one here. Again, these don't have the whip stitching around the perimeter, but it looks to me like this is probably, yeah, that's pretty close to the one I have, other than the whip stitching. The buckles all match. And again, that's how it came, with the brown on the inside. So it's just probably a chrome tanned cowhide. And I'm sure with the shipping and everything, it's $300. Well, that's $230, but the one I have has more details, so it's probably more in the $300 range, is what I'm guessing. Because Sabo said he spent over $300 on it. He might be including the shipping. I don't know. I'll break out mine. Okay, the noise you hear outside is the guys putting the telephone pole. Here's that guy Freddie's band. Again, you can see it's not lined. It has this kind of whip-stitched leather around the perimeter. I'm sure that took some time. It looks like, I don't know if Sabo painted that black and it peeled off, or if it came black, like here. And if he put that on there, that might be the case. I like his logo on here. And, oh, let me get the calipers right quick. Okay, so this leather is 2.5 millimeters thick. The bison hide's typically well over 3 millimeters. I mean, this is obviously probably better, you know, for comfort, but I like the bison hide's more supple. So it's a 19.5. That's a very strange size. That's not, I don't know a single watch that has a 19.5 width for the lugs. I think this is a 24. These are 20s. That's like a 24 or 26 over here. I know this is a 22 millimeter. 18, 19, 20, 22, 24, 26 is standard. So that's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre size. I don't know what that's about. So again, you know, $300 range for this by itself. And it's riveted, right? So there's no, it's not Chicago screws. Yeah, you're stuck right here. So right here, this length, let's just see what it says here, is precisely 35, yeah, we'll call that 38 millimeters. And so from our, I'm not going lug to lug, I'm going to where, well, actually that's pretty close to what that is there on that watch. I'm guesstimating where the actual spring bar is. That's pretty close. So, you know, a decent sized watch might fit on this. The thing is that this is so narrow, you're going to have a gap. You're going to see your spring bar here. You see how well fitted this is? If this watch was on that cuff, you'd see more of the spring bar. So that's a very bizarre choice. I don't know if Sabo was aware of that when he ordered this. I know he wanted a Submariner. I don't know what the Submariner lug width is. So I don't know if that would actually fit. Sabo ended up with something like this. The only difference with his is that the Bund is also bison hide. On this one here, I made this with a horse hide Bund with you know, the bison hide as the pass-throughs. I added the extra stitching here because I made this wider on purpose, and it's a 22 millimeter band thickness. I have one hole for myself here. I was going to make this to sell. As I was making, I wasn't happy with it. In the end, I'm very happy with it. I suppose I could still sell this, but I'm wearing this as my everyday for the last few days. I think this might be my beater, my official beater work watch, at least the band. This was the first one I ever did, and this is double thick bison hide. Keep in mind, mine are all lined. All right, that's cowhide. These are all lined with cowhide. Put my logo on this one. Light has to hit it just right for you to actually be able to see it and read it. I might do that in the future on the others. I don't know. This one's still for sale, and I was introductory price on this $375 shipped with the watch. It's a good quality. This is an Addy's dive. It's a dive watch, 200 meter water resistance, stainless steel case, screw-in locking, rear cover, screw-down locking crown, really good loom, NH35 movement, good quality watch. The price on these is going to go up to about $5 with the watch, and I'll be making some boxes for them and everything else. These others are my personal, I made this for myself. It's a beautiful watch. This Pagani. See the power reserves on empty. Would I sell this? Yeah, I might sell this if the price was right, I suppose. I put a Patek Philippe buckle on this. You can get that to read for some reason. It doesn't want to focus. There we go. Pretty cool buckle. That buckle's probably worth some money. Of course, I've got the Luminor here, and I did the pass-through on the Bund here. So let's see what the dimensions are on this. That's 5 millimeters thick, the Bund. So what that really is, it's like, oh, wait a second, let's see if we get that right. 4.5, 4.8. That's the thickness of the bison hide with the thin layer of the lining on it. Straps are lined as well. Cookie stitching on there on the keeper. This was the first one I ever made. I called this the Gladiator Watch Cup. We're talking 6 millimeters thick. This thing's massive. Now this is similar to what that guy was doing, where he was stitching his strap directly to the Bund. So, this is just me wanting to compare what I've been doing on my own. These are my own designs. I mean, obviously I looked at other stuff, but I'm coming up with my own ideas here. And I wanted to compare that to a guy who's doing this commercially. This is this guy's business. This is what he's putting out. This is what you get for $300 or so from an established leather crafter. It's cowhide, and this is what you get right now. At least one more left at $375 with a watch. Super thick bite. Now this might seem stiff to you, but one of the things you want to do when you get one of these from me is do this. Pinch this leather like that. It becomes very, very supple, and you'll get this to conform to your wrist real easy. This one here is just amazing. There you got it. There you have it. But briefly, again, just because, just want to go over a couple quick things with you. All right. This watch has a date complication. All right. It's got a locking crown, so you got to turn it counterclockwise to unlock the crown. Then you can pull it out. This thing isn't even. None of these are wound that I'm going to show you right now. Let's get it going. There you go. Second hand's moving. And when I pull this out, it's going to hack, meaning it stops the second hand. If I go one click in, it's going to do the time, or excuse me, the date. See the date turning? See that? What you want to do is you want to put all the way out. Just double check that I'm going in the right direction here. Yeah. So you want to turn this all the way around to midnight, and you want to watch that date complication. If it changes, okay, there you go. So that's midnight, right? So now we're in AM. Let's say you want to set it to 5 p.m. Well, you're going to go past the 12 again. And then, what are we at? 4. Okay, so that's 5 o'clock. So before we get to 5, we want to keep both hands under 3 and 9. We're going to push this back in, and we're going to rotate. We're going to get the date. I think today is the 20th, December 20th. So we'll go ahead. I'm watching this in reverse on the screen. I don't typically look at myself in these videos, There we go. Today's the 20th. Now you pull it out all the way again. And I set it to 5 o'clock. Push it in, and now you can lock it down. Okay? Simple as that. Simple as that. For those of you that don't understand, this is a thing. It's really interesting. The watch band thing, setting the time on the watch. When I was a little kid, my dad would give me his watch. He'd get a new watch, he'd give me his old watch. He gave me several watches. And they would, the best watch he ever gave me, I cut school, I got mugged on the bus, and some big kids stole it from me. I still regret that. This one here is a little more complicated because this watch is hard. It's set up hard on here, but I'm going to try to show you something on this one. So it's another automatic. This is an Aragon. I love these Aragons because they're way overbuilt. Usually 200 to 500 meter water resistant. They usually have, sometimes they have Swiss movement, sometimes they have the Miyota movement. This one's got the NH36. The NH36 movement is going to have the day and date in it, okay? I'm going to pull this all the way out. I'm going to turn this so that that hand is not blocking the dial. The idea here is you push this in one stop, and now you can adjust. One way will adjust the number, that's the date. The other way will adjust the day of the week. Okay? So now you know. Push that in, and then you go ahead and tighten that up to get your water resistance again. So, and also this one has hacking and winding. So before you tighten it down, while it's in this first position here, you can wind it. And I don't know if that's, I don't think you can hear that. That's not a very loud one. But I just wanted to show you that so you understand. And as I was saying, as a kid, I'd get a watch and I would just do that. This is beautiful Pagani here. And this one has a visible power reserve. And as a child, I knew how to set a watch. It's just, I'm not picking on you guys, by the way. I'm not picking on you. It's just, it's a weird thing that's happening because, we've been all on our phones now for so long. It's about 4:15 here. And it's a very strange thing. People don't have the basic kind of common sense knowledge that we all had about watches 30, 40 years ago. So people are yanking on the strap. My brother, I sent him one of these with a 50 millimeter Aragon on it, and he couldn't get the crown to go. He didn't know that you have to unscrew the crown. He said he was prying on it with like a knife or something, and he realized, I don't want to break it. And then we spoke, and I explained to him, no, you got to unlock it. He might have figured that out before we talked. He's a pretty smart guy. He's an engineer, So, well, he's an engineer on the railroad. He runs the steam engine. But he's a smart dude. So I'm just saying, give yourself a break a little bit. But it's very strange. This new world that we're all living in with all this technology, we're losing basic common sense about how to handle normal stuff. I mean, you got people not even cooking anymore because they can just order food, which is strange to me because you save so much money and you eat so much better and cleaner. You should be. If you cook, I cook all my meals. I rarely ever eat out. And I could cook better than what I get at the restaurant anyhow. So I just wanted to show you that. Here's a version of the watch that guy got from me where he pulled that through. I don't think that's going to happen on this one. I was looking at it. Looks like I stitched that one right. Should be fine. This one's still available if you're interested. Don't worry. The thing about me is, if I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. It might take me a while to get to it because I got so many things to do. That's one thing. But the other thing is if somebody's paid me to do something, you can bet your ass I'm going to go out of my way to make it as right as possible. And if I get something wrong, if I misspeak and it's a big deal, I'll come on here and I'll let you know. I can admit I was wrong about something. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm certainly not right about everything. And as you know, and as I've said before, I am not hung up on that. So I just want to be as honest and straightforward as I can be with you and everybody else in my life. Especially the real people in my life that I know and I deal with on the regular. So that's it. thanks for being here. We got 5 days till Christmas. I've got no plans. I might drive out to Arizona and hang out in the house there for a few days. I haven't made that decision yet, but that's it for now. So I think you guys are going to get maybe 2 videos today because I'm going to piece together a bunch of other clips. But this one was just about the watches, okay? I wanted you guys to see what's out there, what you can buy for a lot of money versus what I've been doing, and then explain some of this stuff for you. And that's it. I do have other watches. I'm not looking at this like a major business thing. Like I'm gonna, be selling these watches regularly. I enjoy piecing these together, like finding a watch, letting the watch dictate the design to a certain extent. You guys will notice that all these bands are different, right? And I could get into why I did what I did with this, in particular on this one because it's kind of got a pilot watch vibe to it. I wanted this Bund to be more similar to what they wore, World War II and all that. But beefier, tougher, And on this one here, this is a little bit more elegant. And the other thing I'm doing, a cuff will wrap all the way around. And what I'm doing is I'm really doing Bunds, but beefier and longer. So I'm doing kind of like in between a Bund and a cuff. I don't know that there's a word for that yet. I'm going to have to invent something. But that's what I'm doing. So, but you'll see here, this is a little bit more streamlined, a little thinner, a little more elegant on the wrist. And it's a rustic elegance is what I'm going for here. That is the vibe that I'm going for with these bands. All right? Kind of like me. I'm rustic, Every once in a while, I throw some $3 word at you that throws you off. And you're like, holy crap, this guy actually went to college or something. Maybe he's read a book or two. Keep you guessing. I'm going away now. You guys have a great day. Be good to one another, and I'll catch you in the next one.